Here we are. Whew. I'm just going to let you all get a chance to log on with me. Give you a few minutes. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining tonight. H. David, 1996. Haven't met you before, but I'm glad you logged on. Just getting started. I'm not going to wait too long because each person, I value your time and I appreciate you joining. I want you to just sit tight for a little bit, and we're just going to just hold on. Hold on. Couple seconds. Oh, got a little problem. How are you? How are you? Good to have you. This is the Sincere Ministries Hiding Place broadcast, which we have on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. I am Minister Keisha Rand, and I am here to encourage you. For those of you who have been watching the notices and the postings from those who are using the hashtag When I Was, describing the types of sexual harassment that they endured even when they were children. We're going to address that today, as well as the Sexual Assault Prevention Month, which is the month of April, as well as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the other hashtags that we are often seeing used: break the silence, no more, all these things that we see people using as a means to express themselves. And I want you to know that this is a safe place for you to do that. And I want you to just take the opportunity to just be open and don't worry about a thing. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to leave a comment if you don't like. Believe that totally up to you. And if you like, I can also start the call. I think we're not gonna do the call just in. I usually use it as a backup, but I don't think I'm gonna do that tonight. We're on chapter 2 tonight of the book Ravaged Relentlessly, Biblical Help for Those Overcoming Sexual Crime. For those of you who are following from Facebook and who will join us later on in the replay, we're going to be perusing through chapter 2 tonight, which is entitled A Silent Conversation. And it's one of my favorite chapters in the book because it addresses the things that you may or may not ever say. Because in the process of with everyone expressing these thoughts and sharing these experiences, all this month, there are still thousands who will never say a word. They will never share what happened, and no one has to. You don't have to. There's no pressure for you to say something, but you can still hear something that's encouraging to you. So I'm not here to share my stories. I'm not here to share the stories of others. I'm here to encourage you in a way that will bring you to a place where you don't hurt anymore, where you're not beat down, because the worst conversation you can have is that silent conversation that you have with yourself. The worst conversation, the worst things that you can hear sometimes are the thoughts that you have in your own mind. Some people say they're inner demons. I wouldn't go that far, but I do know that you can torment yourself with why, or how did I let this happen, or what did I do wrong? Those are the kinds of things that get us so broken. Again, on top of what already happened to you, now you have to deal with all these other thoughts of trying to figure it out. And we do not want that. We do not want you to take this situation that happened, this attack that happened to you, and take that as a way of looking at yourself as if there's something wrong with you or that you did something wrong. So, a couple of questions that I have outlined here. I'm going to only read a couple of the questions. One of them is, why didn't I scream and fight back? And this is for those who did not scream, who did not fight back. And there are several reasons. We can just list a myriad of reasons why, because everyone is different. Everyone is different. But I always want to give you the biblical answers to the questions that I have. Now, I want to read what I wrote before this question, part of the book on page 26. It says, The first police officer to investigate my allegation asked me if I screamed. When I told him no, he frowned. Then he asked me if I fought back. When I answered I tried to, he started yelling at me, demanding to know why I didn't kick, scratch or bite the attacker's ear off. He actually said that. Why didn't you bite off his ear? Now I could have said, is that what you did when you were attacked? But instead, I was so shocked by his attitude, I didn't say anything at all. And his words haunted me for years. I just had to know why. And I imagine that you may want to know what the answer is that I discovered, which leads to our next question. Why didn't I scream and fight back? Psalm 74, verse 4 says, I am so troubled that I cannot speak. And there comes a point in time in your life where you honestly cannot utter a sound out of your mouth. You could be the most verbal person. You could be the most outgoing, well-versed person in the world. But when someone is hurting you, who is attacking you, who is demeaning you and taking over you in such a horrific, violating way, there are no words. There is no sound. There is no scream to that level of horror and that level of total disconnect. You can't always speak in every situation. So please do not beat yourself up. If you have memories of you not saying something or not screaming or not doing more. First John chapter 4 verse 18. There's one phrase in that passage that says, because fear has torment. When you are afraid, deeply terrified, horrified, you are tormented. Because it's not just what's happening to you, but it's what might happen, what may happen next. Because what's happening now is already bad and you don't want it to get worse, and that fear just torments you that if you do anything wrong or you say anything, it could make the situation worse, and so you don't do anything at all. This happens to many, many people. I some time ago saw a commercial for a home security system. In it, a woman was feeding her baby when she noticed a man standing in her front yard outside in the dark, watching her suspiciously. She was shocked, speechless. The narrator's voice said, "It has been shown that absolute fear can render one silent." I remember feeling relieved when I saw that because I thought for years that there was something wrong with me. Here's the thing that I want you to come away from this question. Some people will never understand your reaction, including you, and that's fine. Don't try to analyze why you acted or didn't act a certain way. You cannot plan a reaction. You cannot plan your emotions for something like that. That is something that is never supposed to happen. That is something that is never supposed to happen. It should not happen. And I'm so glad that so many people are now working to end this. The violence, the rapes, the sexual assault, the sexual harassment. And I do all I can, to help with those causes. But this is definitely a war. And my position in this is more of the hospital for the wounded, hiding place. A place where you can come and get better. We can address those places where you were hit, those places where you were hurt, those places where you're bleeding, those places where you've been crushed. And my job is to minister to that need, to help you to recover, to get back. Next question that I have. Next question is, and by the way, these are not necessarily questions that I had for myself. These are questions that I had for others as well, or that I, in my research, found that others asked themselves because they were just tormented. One of the questions was, I was attacked more than once by the same person. Does that mean I was asking for more? John chapter 10, verse 10 says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. So if the same attacker comes after you more than once, it is not because you asked for it, but because the enemy's goal is to steal, kill, and destroy. Key word here is and. His return only acknowledges the fact that there is more to you than he could ever take away. He comes because he could not defeat you. God didn't let him, and he won't. Know that this goes much deeper than how it appears. Now, the reason why we included this question in the book is because there are some people who live with their attackers. Children, teenagers, women, even males. You know, it doesn't matter if you're living in a place where you feel threatened, or you've been told that if you say anything that someone would die, or something worse will happen to someone that you love. And many people are caught into that prison of someone oppressing them and violating them on a regular basis over and over again. And sometimes people are able to get away from it, sometimes they are not. But never ever think that because it happens over and over, or it happened more than once, that it's because you are asking for it. You're not asking for anything. You're not asking to be attacked. You're not asking to be violated. You're not asking to be defiled. You're not asking for anyone to touch you. You need to ask a different question here. Why does this person keep coming at me? What is it that he's trying to stop? What is it that they are trying to destroy in me? There must be something very valuable, very precious, very priceless in me and about me. I must be made of something really amazing that God put me on this earth to do, to accomplish, to be. And this person is being facilitated, to being used by the enemy of our souls to stop me from being all that God wants me to be. But as long as you keep drawing breath, you still have purpose. You still have the ability to do everything that God has designed you to do, and to be everything that he has created you to be. This is something that someone's trying to stop you. Someone's trying to get in your way by hurting you. And don't ever think that it's just about sex. We talked about that a week ago. It's not just about sex. It's not just about someone having a sexual desire. It's more than that. It's someone wanting to dominate you, to keep you from being what you're supposed to be, to keep you from being free. And the Lord wants us all to be free. He wants us all to be free. He doesn't want any of us to be bound, to be enslaved by anyone. Next question. And I want to read this other paragraph also. So when the enemy comes, in whatever way he comes, no matter how many times he comes, he's really coming to grieve the Lord, steal your security and quality of life, kill your hope, and destroy your sense of peace. But he cannot succeed as long as you decide to call on the Lord's name regardless. So when that person keeps coming at you, at some point, it will stop. It will come to an end. What my hope is that you gain the hope in your heart to believe that you can call on the Lord to save you, to rescue you, to get you out of that. Not about what he didn't do and why didn't he, but about what he can do right now. And then once you're out of it, what he can do to heal you, to take away all of that pain, all of that anger, all that anguish and torment, and remove it from you so that you don't hurt anymore. You're not troubled and disturbed anymore inside. You're not in turmoil anymore. Next question. And these are questions that a lot of people who have been violated ask themselves. One of them is, why did I keep it to myself? Why didn't I tell anybody? Why did I hide it? Again, there's so many reasons and no reasons at all for each individual to decide whether they're going to share this experience with someone or not. But in the book of Psalms, chapter 77, and verse 4, it says, I am so troubled that I cannot speak. Sometimes you hurt so bad that you can't speak. You can't verbalize it. I was looking on Twitter today and noticed a couple of women who asked, how many of you are like me, who tried to share my experience and I deleted it 2, 3 times. How many of you did that? Because I just could not bring myself to write the words down. So everyone can't say it. Everyone can't express it. Everyone cannot bring it up and out of their mouths. It's so sickening and it's so otherworldly. It's unreal and real at the same time. It's a horrific, nauseating experience to try to formulate into words. How do you describe? How do you break down? How do you bring into light all that darkness? You don't have to. God says right here, he understands that sometimes you are so troubled that you can't speak. And you know what? That's okay. You don't have to bring everything out. You're not going to explode because everything is kept inside of you. You release it when you say the words that God says about you. You don't have to repeat what happened or, convey it to someone else for you to be healed. Sometimes shame can come on us in such a distinct, overwhelming way. Just the thought of anyone knowing that you were hurt this way, it makes you feel like you are somehow flawed, targeted, and you're not certain what they're going to think of you next. Okay. You can't worry about what other people think of you. It only matters what God thinks about you. What does he say about you? He loves you enough that he actually gave everything for you. You have to learn how to cry out to him. You have to learn how to, and I don't mean just say his name only. I mean to really say, God, I want this pain to end, and I believe that you are the only one who can do this. And if you believe he can, he will. He is our healer. He can heal what's broken inside of us. He can change everything. He can do anything. That's hard to believe, but it is the truth. 2 Samuel 13:13 says, and I, where shall I cause my shame to go? You have no place that's suitable to really share everything, and I don't believe at all that every person who's ever been hurt, violated, victimized, endured a violent act can actually really say everything. There's so much. There were smells, aromas, sounds, the way things felt. You can't verbalize all that. But as I said before, you don't have to. You don't have to. You're not internalizing. You're not burying it. You're not blocking it out because you're not expressing it to others. But what you need to do, what you must do, is express it to God. There has to be a point where you release it to him, to let that thing out of you, out of that broken place. Kind of like when a cancer needs to be removed and the doctor has to go in and surgically remove it. Only God is not going to cut you in order to remove something that's hurting you. He doesn't have to. He didn't make you that way. He made you painlessly, and he can heal you painlessly. So he's not going to have you drudge up all those memories. He's not going to have you bring all this stuff to the light and tell everybody your story, and you don't have to do all that. You don't have to write it all down in a diary. And if that makes you feel better, you go right ahead. Journal it, write it down, write a letter, and burn it if you want to. Whatever type of expression, and I want to say positive expression, don't hurt yourself. That's not going to help you get it out. Don't harm your body. Don't do things. Don't isolate yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that. That will not make you better. That won't make you better. Okay? I just need you to know that even though you may not have told anyone what happened to you, don't feel bad that you did not. There are some things that is just too hard to share. You just can't bring into words. And God understands that. But take it to him. Take it to him. He will keep your secrets. He won't tell anyone. Okay? The next question in this silent conversation says, I am constantly looking over my shoulder, sometimes checking every closet and room, and when I get home, I'm rushing everywhere when I'm out. At times I have nightmares when I sleep and flashbacks when I'm awake. I can't even enjoy certain movies without having to leave the room. When I'm alone in a room with a man I don't know well, I'm terrified. How do I deal with this fear that I now live with? That's the question. I have 3 scriptures for you. I'd like you to write them down. Isaiah 51, verse 12. Isaiah 41, verse 10. And 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. I'm going to read those again to you. Isaiah 51, verse 12. Isaiah 41, verse 10. And 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. Here's what Isaiah 51 reads. It says, I, even I, am he that comforteth you. Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the Son of Man which shall be made as grass? What is God saying to us here? He's the one who is our comfort. He's the only one that can make you feel safe again, feel secure again, to stabilize you again. So he's saying, why are you going to be afraid of some person who's going to die? Someone who is just as dispensable as the grass. Someone who can easily be wiped out, cut away. Why are you afraid of what someone, a mere person, can do? I'm the one who's there for you. I'm the one who can comfort you. Why would he have to be our comforter if we never have to go through pain, if we never grieve about anything? We wouldn't need God to be our comforter, but he is. He's not the one who hurts us. He's the one who comforts us. Isaiah 41 says, Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. So God is telling you yet again that he's with you. Don't be dismayed. Don't be so cast down and so inconsolable and so by yourself and not letting anybody get near you, not letting anybody help you. And he says, I am God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. God is the one who will make this thing right. He will uphold you. He will vindicate you. He will avenge you. Yes, God will avenge you. You need to understand that he's with you. Don't let this thing destroy you. You were already hurt once. Don't let it keep hurting you after it's over. Go to the Lord. Don't be afraid to go to him. He's with you. And 2 Timothy 1:7 says, For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. When you can't rest because your mind is busy, you're having nightmares, you're upset over something that you remembered, you had a meltdown because you ran into someone, or someone looked like someone who hurt you, or you had a flashback or some type of trigger that just set you off. Well, the Lord is saying here in 2 Timothy that he's promised you a spirit of power, love, a sound mind. That's a powerful promise, and it's an awesome gift to have. You're going to need power just to get back up and face another day. You're going to need a sound mind just to be able to go about life and keep moving and functioning. And you're going to need love to be able to see yourself as worthy, because you are. Because he says you are. He made you that way. It's hard to try to see yourself that way, but trust what he said. He says, I'm with you. I'm the one who comforts you. I'm the one who's there to help you. I'm here. I'm here for you. That person tried to destroy you, would have destroyed you. I didn't allow it. That's why you're still here. That's what God's message is to us. Do you believe that God can restore you? You believe that he can bring you back to what you were? Because that's a hard thing to grasp for something so heavy as this. And I understand that. But at some point you have to be sick and tired of being tired and being sick at heart. At some point in time, you have to say, okay, that's enough of this. I'm not going to sulk another day. I am not going to let this take over my life like this. Lord God, help me. Help me move forward. Help me take the next step. I can't do this without you. You said you're with me, Lord God. Be with me now. Show me how you are with me. Reveal yourself to me. How are you with me? And watch how he shows up. Watch how he reveals himself to you in amazing ways. Through the beauty in the sunset, the fragrance of a flower, the laugh of a baby. You'd be surprised at how God touches your heart with everything that he surrounds you with. That's why he doesn't want you to be all by yourself, suffering somewhere in silence, suffering somewhere, and nobody knows that you're in pain. Nobody knows, but he does. Because the rest of us, we tend to go on with life as usual. That's how we are. We got to go to work. We got to pay bills. We got to take care of the kids. We got to just keep going. No one knows that there's been a death right there in our midst. Though you're still breathing, you've died inside. But God knows. That's why he says, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Let him be there for you. Let him talk to you and show you in his word. I want to go through one more question. One more question, and then I'm going to pray with you, and then I'm going to ask you to share this video with others. The question is this: I cannot get past the defilement of my body and my soul. I feel like I have lost full rights to my own body, like I have been reduced to a mere shadow of who I used to be. How do I get past the shame and disgrace that I feel? We find our answer in Psalm 69, verses 18 through 20. Did I say that too fast? Psalm 69, verses 18 through 20. Draw nigh unto my soul and redeem it. Deliver me because of mine enemies. Thou hast known my reproach and my shame and my dishonor. Mine adversaries are all before thee. Reproach hath broken my heart, and I am full of heaviness. And I looked for some to take pity, but there was none. And for comforters, but I found none. And so many men, women, boys, and girls throughout the world have this same feeling. I want to read that passage to you in the New International Version, just to get a little clear on the language, since we don't speak in that mannerism, the King James mannerism, any longer. I'm going to go ahead and read that. Psalm 69, verses 18 through 20. And it says, come near and rescue me. Redeem me because of my foes. You know how I am scorned, disgraced, and shamed. All my enemies are before you. Scorn has broken my heart and has left me helpless. I looked for sympathy, but there was none. For comforters, but I found none. Why is this here in the Bible? Because God wants you to understand that he understands you. He knows what that is, what that's like, to be disgraced, to be shamed, to be scorned like this, to have someone who is an enemy, who hated you enough to hurt you like that. That was hatred. That was hatred. And you may have looked for help, or maybe you didn't have to necessarily say it. Again, this is a silent conversation we're having tonight, right? You could have looked in people that you know, people that you love, people that you trust, and you're hoping for a window of opportunity for you to be able to get something from it, and you're not picking up anything. You don't perceive that this is the right moment, the right time. I don't know if he can help me. I don't know if she will listen. I don't know if they will believe me. I don't know who can help me. And you're looking for help. You're looking for comfort, and you're not finding any. God is the only one who knows how you feel. He is the only one who completely understands you. He gets you. And you never have to explain yourself to him. You never have to say, oh, I wish somebody understood me. You never have to say those words because God understands you. God completely knows you. He made you. And he knows exactly how bad you are hurting. So what you've got to do, what you need to do, is just let him, allow him. Just like you would write those papers, but before you ever have surgery done, if they tell you you have a cancer and we're going to surgically remove it, what do they say? They say we're going to have to go in and we're going to have to cut inside of your liver or your organ, and we're going to have to remove the cancerous cells and give you treatment and all these things. But before they do anything, you have to sign a release form, right? It's kind of the same thing. You have to give the Lord permission to go in and cut out that thing that's eating you alive like a cancer, to remove it from you. And as I said before, it's not going to hurt. If anything, it's going to feel so wonderful and amazing because you'll be free. Jesus said, "Come to me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." That is my prayer tonight, that you will go to him. Go to him. Right now where you are, ask the Lord Lord, give me the rest you promised. I need rest from this, rest in my soul. I am weary with this. I am heavy with this. This burden is too much for me. I can't take it. God's not asking you to forget about it. He's not asking you just to move on. He's not telling you to just get over it. He's saying, let me take care of you. Let me take care of you. Hide yourself in him. I want to pray for you. Lord, I pray for all these dear precious souls, those who have been hurt, who've been violated, who've been attacked, who've been oppressed. Lord God, I pray that they would have the courage to just open up their hearts and ask you to take the pain away. I ask that you do it in case they're too shy or they believe that you won't, or they're thinking that maybe you forgot about them or maybe you're not there for them. Lord, I pray that you would just override all those fears, because you did not give them the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So Lord, I ask you to touch them right now, everyone at the sound of my voice, and let them know that you are with them. Comfort them, Lord. Heal them, Lord God. Deliver them. Make them free. In the name of the Lord Jesus, the one who is acquainted with our sadness and our sorrows, who knows how we feel. That's who I pray for, all of them. And I thank you for hearing my prayer, because I know I've prayed your will. Amen. So that's our broadcast for tonight. Sincere Ministries. Please download the Sincere Ministries app from the Google Play Store so that you can be connected to all of our broadcasts and our books and everything that God has us doing to help his people, the people that he loves so much. You all have a fantastic and wonderful night. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through the mobile app. Or if you don't have an Android device, then just email me at besincere@sincereministries.org. Or you can contact me on Twitter, sincere_1989, or Facebook at the Sincere Ministries Facebook page. Okay? Again, I am Minister Keisha of Sincere Ministries, and this has been the Wednesday night Hiding Place broadcast. You all have a fantastic, blessed, and peaceful night. Sleep well. And I'll see you next week. God bless.